I was just an ordinary young man, born in a small dusty village where most people's dreams didn't reach beyond the hills surrounding us. Life was simple, and though we had little, we found joy in small things. The smell of wet earth after rain, the sweet taste of roasted maize by the roadside, and evenings spent around crackling fires, listening to old folk tell stories of love, war, and betrayal. It was in this village that I met Amina. She wasn't like the other girls. There was a light in her eyes, a kindness in her voice, and a strength that made you feel like you could take on the world just by standing beside her. I still remember the first time I saw her. She was by the riverside, her feet dipped in the cool water, humming a tune so soft it felt like the wind carried it straight to my heart. We started talking. Simple conversations at first. I'd help her carry water. She'd save me a piece of roasted cassava during the market days. Before long, the days felt empty without seeing her, and I realized I was falling for her. It wasn't the kind of love you see in books or hear in songs. It was real, raw and unshaken by wealth or status. Amina would often speak about her dreams. She wanted to see the city, live where the lights never went out and wear dresses so fine they glimmered under the sun. But she never looked down on our life. She loved the smell of the village soil and the taste of river fish. I too dreamed of better days, of a small home with her laughter filling its rooms, of children running in the yard. One evening, under the old baobab tree at the edge of the village, I took her hand in mine and made a promise. I told her I would go to the city, find work, and return for her. I would build a future so she wouldn't have to choose between her dreams and our love. She looked at me, eyes glistening with unshed tears, and promised to wait. No matter how long, no matter how hard, her heart would remain mine. We sealed that promise with nothing but a simple bracelet she tied around my wrist, made of tiny red and black beads. She said it would remind me of her no matter where I went. Those were the happiest days of my life. When I left for the city, I carried nothing but a small bag and the hope of a better tomorrow. Every step away from the village felt heavier than the last, but Amina's words echoed in my mind, and I believed in our promise. Love like ours was rare. It was supposed to survive anything, or so I thought. The city welcomed me with dust, noise, and faces that never smiled. I had imagined golden streets and endless opportunities, but what I found was a struggle that weighed on my bones. The first job I got was carrying sacks at the market. The pay was little, but I held on, believing it was the first step toward my promise. Every evening I would sit by myself, look at the bracelet Amina gave me, and tell myself that each blister on my hands was worth it. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. The city was cruel. I lost my job when a merchant accused me of stealing what I never touched. No one cared to listen. I was thrown out, my name dragged through the mud by people who barely knew me. I tried looking for other work, walking from shop to shop, but no one wanted a poor village boy with worn-out clothes and tired eyes. I sent letters to Amina. Every coin I could save went into paying messengers to carry my words back home. I wrote of my struggles, of how I missed her, and of how I was fighting for us. But time passed and no reply ever came. Not a single word. I convinced myself that perhaps the letters were lost, or maybe the messengers never reached the village. Still I wrote, pouring out my heart on every scrap of paper I could find. Hunger followed me like a shadow. Some nights I slept with nothing but an empty stomach and the cold earth beneath me. The city that once promised so much had stripped me of everything, my strength, my pride, and slowly my hope. But I never let go of Amina's image in my heart. I believed she was there, waiting as she promised, counting the days until we'd be together again. Then one day, as I sat near a crowded market corner, a stranger whispered news that broke whatever little spirit I had left. Amina had come to the city, not as a visitor but to marry a wealthy merchant's son. I laughed at first, thinking it was a cruel joke. My Amina, the same girl who had once danced barefoot in the rain with me, the one who had sworn by the baobab tree to wait for me. It couldn't be true, but deep down a storm began to brew inside me. Doubt, anger, pain, all crashing together like waves in a violent sea. I wanted to see her. I needed to look into her eyes and hear it from her own lips. Even in my ragged clothes, with dust in my hair and bruises on my feet, I still carried the heart of a man who once loved her. And though the city had reduced me to a beggar, it had not taken my memory of who we were. I told myself if